Welcome to a 6 Circles of Success report on profiting by hiring. In an increasingly challenging business economy, companies are finding it more difficult to hire and retain skilled employees. Businesses nationwide have turned to a relatively untapped talent pool to help them increase profit margins while at the same time improve their public image. Today, we'll reveal the 6 Circles of Success to profiting by hiring workers with disabilities. This report will investigate the ways employers have found success in hiring and retaining employees who happen to have disabilities and show specific case studies and reports substantiating the enormous potential behind this skilled workforce. Our 6 Circles of Success are return on investment, social responsibility, marketing, human capital, diversity, and innovation. Our report will feature success stories from large, medium, and small employers and feature facts and figures detailing the several advantages employers are finding by hiring employees with disabilities. Return on investment is perhaps the key circle of success in that it is all about the bottom line, getting the most return out of your dollars spent. This is Jim Lunny, the Vice President of Workforce Development Solutions at GettingHired.com, a for-profit corporation specializing in helping companies find skilled employees with disabilities. We talked with him at their headquarters in Bedminster, New Jersey.
GettingHired.com is a private sector initiative that's helping to lead the effort to increase the employment participation of people with disabilities while helping employers connect to qualified workers.
Employees with disabilities are making positive contributions from large businesses to small, as well as in government jobs. The city of Shreveport, Louisiana has embraced this trend and has reaped the benefits from hiring from this workforce. Mayor Cedric Glover is leading the charge for his city.
For cities and communities and businesses that want to be viewed as a part of a forward-leaning, forward-thinking 21st century operation. Part of what you will be judged and evaluated on is whether or not you have managed to tear down those barriers that prevent individuals, whether it's by race or by ethnicity or by orientation or by physical ability or limitation.
Research studies dating back to 1948 have consistently shown that employees with disabilities demonstrate average or better attendance, lower turnover, average or better job performance, and average or better safety records than their non-disabled counterparts.
The person with disabilities in your workforce is a priceless person. I checked just to see the people that I know have disabilities, that have physical disabilities. It's difficult to know if someone has a disability if you can't see it. So I ran some numbers just to see what the people who I know have disabilities in our workplace, what their tenure is, and it's equal to the tenure in the entire organization or greater than that, which is 11 years or more.
Initial misconceptions that accommodations may cost companies too much money have often deterred employers from hiring employees with disabilities. Facts show that employees with disabilities tend to bring a greater return on investment than those without.
First thing that employers sometimes think about, boy, that's got to be expensive, but the reality is quite the opposite.
We've not done any benefit analysis, but I have set aside a budget every year since I've been here for 13 years to accommodate anyone we may have to accommodate with regard to a disability, and I rarely use the budget that I put aside, and sometimes I don't use any of it at all.
There's a coming shortage of qualified workers. As the baby boomer population starts to retire in greater numbers, the experts are forecasting.
By 2018, the total employment requirement is projected to increase by 15.3 million, which is greater than 10.1%. Slower population growth and a decreasing labor force will create a gap in the overall talent pool.
As we look at the aging workforce, we look at the shortage of workers in America, we always are looking to increase our applicant pool. And having individuals who have disabilities to share and become part of our applicant pool is a plus for us.
What happens is that we don't end up limiting our potential. We end up broadening it because we now can reach out and allow someone's talents and someone's gifts to be incorporated into our collective efforts. And in doing so, we ultimately end up discovering that we are a better team and a better organization.
All of us bring different aspects of our lives, every aspect of a job, different skill sets and talents to the organization. And if we can tap on everyone's ability to participate. That helps us because we're looking for the best and the brightest. And if the best and the brightest is disabled, we want them here.
Greg Polakowski is just one example of the ability and work ethic found within the talent pool of employees with disabilities.
I work as a civil drafter. That's a lot of work with drafting for drawing, for the streets, water, and sewers.
When Greg was hired, and having Greg here for so long, we tend not to focus on his disability. Greg is a good worker, and that's what we focus on, and that's what he brings to the organization. That's the benefit he brings.
Warren Harris also works for the city of Shreveport.
Warren Harris is one of our MPC staff members of 20 staff members. He and John Lafitte are staff our GIS, Geographic Information System, work, and that's essentially sophisticated mapping.
My job for MPC is we'll do vicinity maps. We've got zoning archives that we have. Any property that's been zoned in the last 70 years, what it was zoned when it originally started.
And at first you get caught up in looking at the wheelchair, and it's a rather involved apparatus that he's got to use to maneuver with and all that. But within given some time, that attitude and the workmanship ability, you just don't see that wheelchair as an obstacle.
In addition to his full-time position with the city, Warren Harris also runs a distributorship, partnering with the local Louisiana company, Down Home Meats.
My name is David Terry. I'm the sales manager for Down Home Meats Incorporated in Stonewall, Louisiana. We produce a rope-style hickory smoked sausage, and we deliver in roughly a 5-state area at this current time, and looking to grow new business. As all businesses do, we are a small business.
We definitely expanded their market, and we're looking to expand even more into the South Texas region.
Even though Warren has a job with the city, he still, took on the distributorship venture with us, and along with the internet sales. It's so actually he's got three jobs that he doesn't have to. One would probably do the job, but that's just the way Warren is.
Blue Cross Blue Shield of Louisiana has a successful program for hiring employees with disabilities. One of those employees is Robin Mayhall.
And I'm a corporate communications senior writer. I've been here about 8 years, just had my 8-year anniversary. And as a senior writer, it just kind of reflects the fact that I've been here a good while and have more experience maybe than some of the newer writers. But basically, I'm in the corporate communications department, and I'm one of a team of writers and designers that produces all of the public relations and communications material for Blue Cross.
These 3 individuals are just a sample of the talent available from employees with disabilities.
And you realize over time that these individuals become extremely valuable members of a workforce. And some of you are more valuable, is what I would say.
Now that you've gotten a look into the financial benefits employees with disabilities can bring to your business, thereby giving you a substantial return on investment, let's take a look at the other benefits that these skilled and loyal workers bring to the table. Inside our second circle, companies who strive to strengthen their community are finding that social responsibility brings more than just fringe benefits.
Employers and our employers here at GettingHigher.com have a strong sense of social responsibility, so that certainly is a component of their thinking. But in addition, employers know that people with disabilities constitute a huge segment of the market.
Tim Sanders states in his book, World at Work, that 65% of Americans are willing to switch brands associated with the good cause if price and quality are relatively the same. That is over 200 million new potential customers simply by not limiting your employee talent pool.
As a consumer, I absolutely prefer to spend my money with a company that shows social responsibility, including hiring people of diversity. And that diversity would include people with disabilities.
To have respect for disability, it doesn't matter if they're deaf or what. I may never come back to that place again unless they straighten out.
Now more than ever, social responsibility is an important part of a successful business. and brings with it not just the pride in helping your community, but also increased profit potential and substantial growth in your company's positive reputation. Marketing is our third circle of success. Smart companies are capitalizing on workers with disabilities and through them connecting to a group that represents over $1 trillion in discretionary spending power.
We have a community that is interested in the products and services of our employers and gives employers an opportunity to, number one, tell a little bit about their commitment to disability diversity, and secondly, to market their products to people with disabilities, a large market with a lot of discretionary spending power.
According to a national survey of consumer attitudes towards companies that hire people with disabilities, 92% of the American public view companies that hire people with disabilities more favorably than those that do not, and 87% of the public would prefer to give their business to companies that hire people with disabilities. 54 million Americans with disabilities, including approximately 3.3 million veterans, represent the third largest market segment behind baby boomers, placing them ahead of Hispanics, African Americans, Generation X, teens, and Asian Americans.
We have customers who are disabled, so we have employees who are disabled. We can help to relate to them and give them the type of service that they would need.
The marketing circle of success shows that by simply including workers with disabilities in your pool of talent, you gain access to a much larger customer base. As we explore our next circle of success, we discuss human capital. The business principle of invest and take care of your workforce and they will take care of you is a proven technique, and even more so when it comes to workers with disabilities. A common misconception is that accommodations for workers with disabilities may be too much of an upfront cost.
But their studies have shown that the average workplace accommodation costs less than $500. And they've shown, and further, that fewer than half of people with disabilities require a workplace accommodation at all.
Most accommodations are very small. There's a misconception that they are large. I'll give an example. In my career, we've had an employee who was hearing impaired, and he was very embarrassed about his situation. And as we got together and looked at how we could help rectify it, our solution was a hearing aid. And he had a dark complexion, and so we got a hearing aid that matched his skin tones. And after we did that, the employee was satisfied, very happy, and very motivated to do his job.
We actually like to think of workplace accommodations as being productivity enhancers. And we spoke about this a bit earlier, but let me say again that all of us are given accommodations of one sort or another by our employer. And our employer gives us those things so we can do our jobs. We can do our jobs well and be productive.
50% of accommodations cost between $0 and $50, and 88% cost less than $1,000. Most employers surveyed also reported that dollar benefits far outweigh dollar costs.
The government has, in its efforts to ensure that we provide an even and level playing field for individuals who have certain disabilities and limitations, offers great incentives for the private sector out there to step up and be able to take advantage of.
Tax benefits for companies who hire employees with disabilities include barrier removal tax deduction. Businesses can be eligible for $2,400 to $15,000 in tax credit to cover the cost of accommodations and make workplaces accessible. Through the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, employers may receive up to $20,000 for every employee they hire who leaves the Social Security rolls. With the Disabled Access Credit, businesses earning $1 million or less with 30 or less employees may take a tax credit for a maximum amount of $5,000 to help make their products and services accessible to people with disabilities. The Ticket to Work program also represents an excellent opportunity to access additional unrestricted funding to help provide services to your existing employees and potential labor force. Invest in your people in the short run, and they will pay it back in the long run. Human capital, the fourth circle of success, and one of the smartest investments your company can make. Successful business leaders know a diverse workforce can lead to an increased market share, whereas a lack of diversity could lead to a laundry list of negative consequences.
When I go to the grocery store, I'm usually there for quite a while, and I walk up and down the aisles and I see all kinds of people from all walks of life and from all types of backgrounds. And I feel when I walk through the workplace that it should be the same thing. And I'm proud that when I walk through the halls here at our company and walk through the buildings, I do feel like I see the same types of people represented throughout the company, which makes our customers happy, and we're able to relate to our customers, and our customers can relate to us a lot better as well.
In order to connect with their customers and their consumer base, it's in their interest to have employees who understand that customer base and are members of that customer base.
Employing people with disabilities helps generate revenue by allowing you to tap into a growing market, build brand trust and loyalty, and create new products and services. This is why diversity is our fifth circle of success. Our sixth and final circle of success, innovation, is perhaps the most surprising benefit coming from workers with disabilities. These workers have inspired new innovations that have helped businesses improve overall productivity. One of the many examples of workers with disabilities shaping a company is from Walgreens.
More than 40% of the workers at this warehouse have a disability. The building is designed to accommodate just about anyone with touchscreens and flexible workstations.
Everybody comes in, everybody works side by side. Same pay,
the playing field.
Same pay, same job, same performance.
And this setup is also good for business. This distribution center is 20% more efficient than any in the entire company. That's why other companies are now looking at the Walgreens model, one that's faster and easier to use.
The surprise is the impact it had on the people without disabilities. In this building, the cooperation, the teamwork is better. There seems to be a purpose. When the equipment stops here, instead of chatting, people pick up a broom or a rag and start cleaning off the equipment. Now, how many, does that happen in your DCs? Come on, be truthful. Because it doesn't happen in any of our other ones.
Employees with disabilities contribute to a business's competitive edge by offering fresh perspectives on how to accomplish tasks and implement strategies. Innovation, a remarkable circle of success. These 6 circles of success are all principal elements that lead to a successful company. Success is what everyone wants for their company, and for the savvy CEO, hiring employees with disabilities is a key factor in achieving that success.
To any employer out there who's considering hiring persons with disabilities, I would say focus on the person's abilities. What can they do? What's their attitude? How eager are they to work for you? And if you quickly focus on the ability, you will see that the disability really doesn't matter.
I would tell an employer who was skeptical about hiring someone with a disability to take a look at the person and the position. That's what I think it all depends on. If a position is something that the person with the disability has the right skills for, then absolutely don't be afraid to hire that person.
Well, since my experience of knowing Warren, if somebody did come in and applied for a job that had a disability, I sure would give them an opportunity.
I would understand your skepticism. Take the dive and do it. When you hire a disabled employee, you get that employee confidence. That employee is going to show you where they really want to do a good job, and they will stand by you and be very loyal to you. You took a chance on them, and they will not let you down.
Or as a business, which you deliver a product, deliver a service with the pursuit of ultimately making a profit, you end up putting yourself in a better position to do that most effectively by having as open and as wide of a net as possible when you bring in those potentials that you select from in order to staff up your operation.
You need to hire a person who's qualified for the job, who can do the work, knows what they're doing, and bring something to the organization, regardless of any disability.
So an employer who will take you on and even give you some slight accommodations and value you for what you are is an employer that you're going to be extremely loyal to. Blue Cross has my loyalty forever because of the relatively small things that they've done to accommodate me and to make me feel welcome and make me feel secure about being here.
And the bottom line is that it's good for the bottom line. Employers know this, and employers are acting in their own best interest when they have a diverse workforce, including people with disabilities.
Our 6 Circles of Success report clearly demonstrates that companies can profit by actively recruiting and hiring workers with disabilities. Be on the lookout for more ways to achieve better business through 6 Circles of Success. We thank you for joining us.